Hello, it's Totalhenry here. So I have another manga haul. There's also going to be some novels and Funko Pops and some other stuff in here. I have about 48 books, and 44 of them are manga. This is basically everything that I've bought so far in 2024. So it's just kind of most of it's manga, but there's some other random stuff in here too. Like I bought a new phone case, Winnie the Pooh. And this one at the bottom, it came with two. And this one at the bottom, it says, an adventure is going to happen. I'm just a huge fan of Winnie the Pooh, and I needed a new phone case, so I figured, why not get something cute? Then I also got some Funko Pops. I've talked about this before, but I'm a huge fan of BTS. So anytime BTS Funko Pops come out, I have to buy them. This is the Proof line. I have all of the BTS Funko Pops except for the DNA ones, because those are just really expensive. And when those came out, I was not a fan of BTS, or I didn't really know who BTS were. Who I wasn't into K-pop at the time, and now looking at the prices online, they're just really expensive. So I just can't justify it. But I love the way these look. I've yet to take these ones out of their packaging. I'm sure I will at some point. But it's, I don't know. As I said, I only collect the BTS Funko Pops. That's where my interest in Funko Pop ends. I think these are really, really cool. I don't know. This excites me. Probably doesn't excite many other people, but I just wanted to share it. I think I knocked something off my table. I don't know where I'm going to display these just yet. For right now, I have them on my bookcase. I used to have all the other ones, the DNA, butter, and the DNA and not DNA, the dynamite and the butter ones out on top of my dresser. But for right now, I have them in you can see the white bookcase back there. They're sitting on the shelf back there. Anyway, cool, BTS. Then I got a couple novels. The Portrait of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I don't know too much about it, but I think it's just based on the back. I'd heard good things about it, and I love reading old novels and sort of the classics. I think it's about a guy who basically he has a portrait of himself, and like as he does terrible things or as he grows older, like the portrait ages or something. So it sounds really weird. I also got another novel, I Am a Cat by Natsumi Soseki. So Natsumi Soseki is a really famous Japanese novelist. I've read two of his books before, and I wanted to read another one. And this was one of his more famous ones. I think this might have been like one of his first ones. So it's thicker than I imagined, but than I expected. But I'm really looking forward to reading it. Then I also got the Pooh Perplex. Sorry, the Pooh Perplex. This is an interesting book. I haven't read it yet, but it's about it's satire and about literary criticism. And basically, the author. This was published in I think the 50s or the 60s, and the author at the time, he was a professor, and he wanted to teach his students, or he wanted to talk about literary criticism, and he had some, I guess, criticism about literary criticism. So he picked Winnie the Pooh because it was a well-known topic, and he wrote like 12 essays about Winnie the Pooh, examining it from crazy angles like communism and other stuff like that, and he put it into this book. And from what I understand, I think many people fell for it. Like whole thing was supposed to be a joke, but as I said before with my phone cases, I really like Winnie the Pooh, and this just seemed really, really interesting. It was in my Amazon like shopping cart for a long time, and I was buying some other stuff, and I was like, why not? I also have the new I was gonna call it a comic book, but the new book by Mark Crilly, The Mighty Onion. Um, it's kind of a comic book, but it's also sort of a novel. It reminds me a lot of Diary of Wimpy Kid. I don't want to give away too much because I know that because I follow him on the internet, but also on like his Patreon, and he was having trouble figuring out how to describe this book, but a lot of it is told through these like journal entries, and he has these various different ways of showing of having conversations in the book. Like the two characters are passing notes back and forth. So it's not your typical comic book. There are some comic book pages in here, if I can find some pictures. But it's a story about some kids trying to create their own book story. So you get to read the comic book story that they're creating, but but there's also the story about them trying to create the comic. It's a really good book. It's very inventive. I kind of saw where it was going, but I still enjoyed the ride. This is volume 1. I believe Mark Curley said there are going to be 2 volumes. So I don't know when the final book is going to be released. It's not my favorite book by Mark Crilly. Initially, when I saw it, I was not a fan of the cover. I thought it looked weird. But after reading it, I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed the journey, and I'm definitely going to be buying the second one when it comes out because I want to know what happens. Even though it didn't really I felt like it could have ended on more of a cliffhanger because everything seemed to tie up rather neatly. But again, I'm just sort of nitpicking here, and I was very impressed with the unusual way that he went about telling the story, and it's intriguing nonetheless. So next up it's time for the manga. So there's no real order to this, but Sandland, I bought this right after Toriyama passed away. So we're still all trying to process that. I think I was buying something from Amazon, or it was something I needed from Amazon, and I decided to buy this book sort of as a way to honor him. And it was also a book that I had wanted to own for quite a while. I read it once before. It's a short 1-volume series, and I just remember really liking it. And admittedly, I was never the biggest fan of Dragon Ball. After he passed, I kind of want to read it again, and maybe I will pick up the rest of the volumes. But for me, I don't know, I grew up with Naruto. That was the manga that I really got into, but I know it was influenced by Dragon Ball, and I've read Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and it is fantastic. But regardless, the Toriyama's passing is just a huge loss. And even I don't know how long it's been. By the time this video is uploaded, it will have been a week or 2 or maybe more since he passed, but it's still unbelievably sad. It feels like we've lost a lot of great manga artists in the last couple of years, and Toriyama's arguably the most famous. But his work lives on, and we can still enjoy it. So in a way, he's still with us. Next, I got a classic shoujo manga, The Rose of Versailles. I don't know too much about this. Here's the back if you want to pause it and look at the back. It's a very nice hardcover book. This was kind of a blind buy. I think I knew it was famous, or I knew it was famous, and I guess I was just so surprised to see that it was printed. It had an English release, and I believe it's in 5 of these volumes. And whenever I need something from Amazon, I will always throw a volume of manga in my cart, and I think that's what I did for this book. I haven't read it yet. Just like with most of the books here, I buy them and then I wait a while before I read them. But I'm looking forward to reading that one because I don't read a lot of shoujo titles. Okay, let's move that a little bit. Next up, I got some books from Crunchyroll. There was a sale, and I like their bundles because I feel like you get really good deals. So I got in Asadora Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. I don't know anything about this. All I know is Naoki Urasawa is the author, illustrator, and that's all I need to know in order to buy it. I love his work. Urasawa is one of my favorite manga artists of all time. So like if I see something that he's done, like instantly it becomes something that I'm gonna buy. I hope it's good. It looks interesting. The volumes are thinner than I was expecting, colorful, but yeah, looking forward to reading it. Leave a comment if just in general, but leave a comment if you've read it and you think it's good or you think it's bad. The next book I have is One Piece Shokugeki no Sanji. This is the creators of Food Wars. They did a bunch of Sanji chapters that are it's basically like Food Wars, but using Sanji as, the main character. He basically takes the role of Soma, and I don't remember if there's Shokugekis, but it's basically him working at the restaurant. I forget the restaurant's name. Yeah, so it's sort of like six one shot chapters in here. I really enjoyed it when it was coming out. I read it online as it was coming out, and I love the fact that now it's in a physical volume, so I can reread it. I love the art, and I love One Piece. The only problem is I don't know if I should put it with my One Piece volumes or with my Shokugeki volumes. That's the biggest problem that I have right now. Looking forward to rereading that. Next up, I'll go with this stack. These are the newest books that I got. I got some more Sailor Moon, so I have Volume 4. These are the Naoko Takeuchi collection, Volume 5. That's just like the name of the edition. I think they're sort of I don't really know what the difference is. This is Volume 6. It's just sort of like the name for the size of the volumes or something. I think these are like smaller ones. I don't really know. But Volume 7. So now I have the first 7 volumes of Sailor Moon. Admittedly, I've not actually read any of it. I'm assuming I'm going to like it, which is why I keep buying it. And I guess, Sailor Moon is such a iconic series and so famous that even if I absolutely hate it, I'm gonna want to like read the entire thing because it feels important to do so. If you're interested in manga, or you want to draw your own comics like I do, this feels like a series that you should at least read through once. Part of the reason why I bought more of the books is I was talking to one of my coworkers, and she said that she used to watch Sailor Moon when she was a little girl on TV, and we had never talked about anime or manga before, and I was just really surprised that she even knew what it was. And so we were kind of talking about it a little bit, and again, I was just buying something on Amazon, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy more of the books. At this rate, I'm probably gonna own the entire series because I think there are 10 volumes in total. Before I even start reading it, I have Volume 1 on my bedside table, so hopefully I'll start it pretty soon. But I have a nice stack of Sailor Moon to get to, and maybe by the time I reach Volume 7, there'll be a new volume will be out, and I can, because I prefer reading stuff in the physical books. So I have 3 more series left to go, and these are all a ton of books in each stack. So this one is Kurohime, Volume 1. So some people, if there are any returning viewers to my channel, some people might remember that I actually own the Japanese volumes of Kurohime. And So I already own the entire series, but I ended up buying the volumes in English because I was reading through the volumes in Japanese. Well, I can't read Japanese. My Japanese is terrible. But I was reading the English translations online, the English scans online, and I was looking at my Japanese volumes, like I was following along, and I I just wasn't really making much progress. And then I just kind of thought, well, if I have the English volumes, I will get through it so much faster. And I know that this was an 18 volume series in Japan, and this was discontinued after 14. So, or the English release was 4 volumes short. So, at a certain point, I'm going to have to look at the translations, the scans online, or just instantly become fluent in Japanese. But I figure, you know what? I apparently have a lot of disposable income that I can spend on comics. If I have these, I will get through the story really fast, and then that might encourage me to finish the whole series. Plus, it might help me study Japanese if I can, look at one volume and then have the Japanese volume right next to it and be able to compare, like, okay, this is what the Japanese says, this is the English translation. So I don't really have a good justification for buying it, but I now own the entire series in English, or at least what was published in English. So hopefully I can read that soon. And I'm going to start over from volume 1, because I was very slowly and painfully making my way through the volumes. Like, the scans online were just annoying, and I just find it so hard to read scans online. Next up, let's go with this was so long. When I bought the Asadora volumes from Crunchyroll, I also bought another bundle of an incredibly 10 volumes of an incredibly popular manga series, One Piece. So I got volumes 61 to 70. So here they are. I read One Piece every single week, but I'm just kind of behind in grabbing the volumes. I don't really care because I don't think these volumes are going to go out of print anytime soon. This is volume 64. There were a bunch of different 10 volume bundles I could buy, but I settled on these because I feel like I remember everything about One Piece, all the arcs of One Piece. I feel like I remember them really well, except when they go to the New World. Like, at that point, like, I think that's when I caught up with the series and I started reading it weekly. And even though I read it weekly, I just have no idea what's going on. So I figure, these 10 volumes, I can sit down, read the Fishman Island arc, and I guess this also looks like Punk Hazard or something. And then I can fully understand those arcs, and I can sort of take my time and then enjoy it. Because, as I said, otherwise I would have to go and read scans online, and I'm just not really I'm not really diligent when it comes to doing that. It's always exciting to have more One Piece. I still have so many more volumes left to pick up, but I'm in no real rush. Then the final series that I got, and this is I don't remember why I bought this. I think it doesn't even matter. So these were the last volumes that I needed to complete my collection of Yuna and the Haunted Hot Spring. I didn't show any illustrations from One Piece from the inside of the book. Everyone knows what One Piece looks like, but I figure, might as well be consistent. Okay. There we go. Okay, so then Yuna and the Haunted Hot Spring, volume 16, volume 17. This is a ecchi fan service series, if you couldn't tell. 18. I've read the series. I was reading it weekly online when it came out. I really loved it at the beginning, and then towards the middle, I don't know, it just got kind of weird. So I'm looking forward to being able to read it and sort of understanding, or like trying to understand the part that I sort of fell asleep through. Because I don't like, it went from being this harem anime to all of a sudden there was like this plot, and so this is the final volume right here, where I can't really describe, but like it seemed like the characters got like superpowers or something, and I don't know, like I don't know, like it just felt very different in the latter half than it did the first half. Like it was more plot focused, and it was less episodic. Either way, I'm still really excited to have it. It's one of my favorite fan service series of all time. Let's see if I can show some illustrations in here. I think the art is really, really good. I believe, I think the artist behind Shokugeki no Soma, I think he was an assistant to the artist of this series. I could be wrong about that, but I think there's some sort of like student teacher relationship there. Anyway, okay, that is it for my manga haul. I feel like I just kind of rambled on a little, but those are all the books I got. Kurohime, One Piece, Yuna and the Haunted Hot Spring, Asadora, Roses of Versailles, Sandland, Sailor Moon, One Piece, Shokugeki no Sanji, and I'm probably missing something. Yeah, well, those are all the manga. And then The Mighty Onion by Mark Crilly, check that out. And just, why not watch another one of my videos after you watch this one? There's tons of them, like 800 videos of mine to watch. Please subscribe, click the bell, and thank you for watching.